I think if tomorrow Uhuru woke up and pointed at an ego, literally a flying ego or a monkey, and said, that is the person you should follow, I think that person will get more votes than Ruto and all the other competitors combined.
Mount Kenya. The cradle of Kenya's political influence. The epicenter of voting power and the region that has shaped every presidential election since 2002. But as 2027 approaches, this once loyal Uhuru Kenyatta stronghold and the region that just recently voted William Ruto faces an uncertain future.
So Mount Kenya is thirsty for leadership. They believe now in the leadership of Uhuru Kenyatta. And just as they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, they have grown fonder with him, and they want him and they miss him and they love him. And now everything he says, they will listen. They say, hey, tulifanya makosa. Sasa vile utasema tu, tutafanya.
The return of former President Uhuru Kenyatta has reignited a political storm, threatening to upend the William Ruto's administration's grip on power. After months of silence and speculation, Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenya's fourth president, has re-emerged on the national political stage, albeit silently.
Tuombee nchi yetu. Tuombee amani. Tuombee uwiano kati ya viongozi na wananchi. Tuache mambo ya ukabila na tupendane.
His quiet but calculated moves have sent ripples through the political landscape, especially in his home region of Mount Kenya.
Truth is coming out, and people are beginning to see every politician for who they truly are. And people, if you've seen, churches are beginning to question themselves and asking themselves, what had we drunk? What had we taken? What had we consumed? What was wrong with us? And now the head of state is going everywhere, and churches are bashing him when he's right there in front of them and inside their churches. So the winner is the truth, and the winner is, you cannot pretend forever. So people are beginning to see the true colors of every politician. So it's a win for Kenyans because it's a wake-up call. It's a painful one. We didn't have to go through all this had we listened to Uhuru Kenyatta, but here we are.
Once dismissed as a purposeless influence in the 2022 general election, Uhuru's renewed engagement has reignited his status as the undisputed king of the region.
Mimi nilisema tulifanya makosa, tukapiga rais wetu Uhuru Kenyatta na nikakiri makosa. Sasa hiyo makosa ndio tunarudia tena. Nataka kuambia viongozi wetu wafikirie tena.
But what is Uhuru's endgame? Is he plotting to dethrone President William Ruto by orchestrating his political fall? Or is he merely safeguarding the legacy in a region that has always backed one of its own?
What happened is people told him off. People told him really bad things towards the end of his term. And they have started unsaying those bad things. They have started saying, we are sorry. They've started saying, I saw posts online, people are saying, we are not only welcoming you back to Kenya, we are welcoming you back in our hearts where we had made mistakes.
The impeachment of former Deputy President Gachagua has added fuel to the fire. Once seen as President Ruto's staunch ally, Gachagua's removal was perceived by many in Mount Kenya as a betrayal, a calculated move by the president to weaken the region's influence.
Ruto must go! Ruto must go! Wangapi wanasema William Ruto ni one-term president? Wacha tuone kwa mikono.
The fallout has left Mount Kenya voters furious and disillusioned, with whispers of revenge at the ballot growing louder.
Ati hiyo mtu alisema ati sisi ni watu ya kununuliwa na pesa. Wanaiba pesa ya corruption kwa serikali. Ndio ikifika siku ya uchaguzi, walete pesa hapa Githurai na walete pesa Mlima Kenya. Pesa tutagura. Lakini jamani, one-term president, as many as our similar opinions say,
Ruto's attempt to calm the region by appointing Kithure Kindiki as deputy president has done little to quell the anger. Critics argue that Kindiki lacks the charisma and grassroots connection needed to rally Mount Kenya's vast electorate.
Can you imagine what is going on in the minds of Ruto when you remove Rigiji, and instead of the mountain doing something that shows they are sympathetic towards him, they are still doing something in the name of Uhuru. Then you bring in Kindiki. Instead of the mountain celebrating him, instead of the mountain rapturing with joy like you expected the whole of Meru region to be happy that their son is deputy president, they are throwing a party for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. It tells you where the kingship is.
Since the landslide victory of Mwai Kibaki in 2002, Mount Kenya has been a kingmaker.
Honorable Mwai Kibaki has majority votes. He has also scored over 25% votes of the registered voters in 7 out of the 8 provinces.
Its high voter turnout making it the crown jewel of any presidential campaign. No president since then has ever ascended to power without the substantial support from this bloc.
Ruto will not get re-elected. Full stop. I'll tell you why. You leave aside a solid voting bloc that has been tried and tested. By the Mount Kenyan vote always makes president. Have you discovered that? Then the votes he's going for traditionally have always made opposition. So you leave the vote that has been proven and certified to always make president. And then you sacrifice it for a vote bloc that has always been known to make leader of official opposition. So he's going there.
Yet, in 2027, William Ruto faces the prospect of securing less than 10% of the region's votes, a potentially fatal blow to his re-election bid.
Hii maneno ilikuwa hebu juzi. Hiyo iko ground iko namna hiyo. Hii ya Murang'a jana iko namna hiyo. Si iko namna hiyo? That is the ground, and I told the president, usiguza hii mlima. Utapata shida kwa hii mlima. I told him. Nikamwambia hii watu mimi nawajua. Mimi ni mzee. I'm 59, naelewa hii watu ya mlima vizuri. Hao vijana wanatembea na hao hawajui hii mlima, walimezaliwa juzi. Wengine ni watoto ya Serelak.
Will William Ruto become a one-term president? Ruto's reliance on Western, Nyanza and Coast regions, a gamble to offset Mount Kenya's rebellion, could prove costly.
Mimi nilisimama hapa Kondele. Nikasema siku moja nilisaidia Agwambo. Na safari hii yeye amerudisha mkono, amenisaidia mimi. Mimi nawauliza, iko makosa hapo? Iko makosa? Iko makosa? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Tuendelee ama tuendelee?
These regions, traditionally loyal to Raila Odinga, have historically recorded lower voter turnouts compared to Mount Kenya.
Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Na Kenya haiwezi kufaulu watu wakiwa na utengemano, wakiwa watupiana maneno, wakiwa hawaheshimiani.
Uhuru Kenyatta's influence in Mount Kenya remains unmatched. Though he failed in 2022, Uhuru Kenyatta, a master political strategist with an amiable personality, has positioned himself as the region's ultimate kingpin. Any candidate Uhuru Kenyatta endorses could give Ruto a run for his money.
2027 will be different, whether people like it or not, because the young people are saying we are tribeless, and they mean it. And they are saying they are going to vote for one of their own, and they don't care whether he's Kikuyu or Masai or Kisii, as long as it's a good person and with a good proven track record. So again, the calculations that these old guard had of voting blocks, Mount Kenya, Nyanza, Nini, those calculations will fail flat on their face, because I told you again, more than 16 million out of the 22 million on the voters register are young people below the age of 40. So they are left with 8 million who are thinking in those tribal cocoons of theirs. Sisi ni wa Maragoli, sisi ni wa Kisii, sisi ni wa Kikuyu, sisi ni wa Jaluo, tutavote hivi. Those ones are 8 million. The other 16 million are pragmatic thinkers who will even vote for a Pokot or a Turkana or even a small tribe like the Rendile, as long as that tribe delivers a good candidate who means well for the country.
But when the moment comes, aliyekuwa makamu wa rais mzee amelala, Mwai Kibaki will always be there for the people of Nyeri. tutakuwa nanyi bila uoga, bila chuki, mambo ya changamoto kubwa hizi. Tutakuwa pamoja, na nchi ni kubwa kabisa kushinda sisi zote. Kwa hivyo heshima pia wahenga walisema sio utumwa.
On the other part, Kalonzo Musyoka, who is angling for the presidency, has reminded Mount Kenya of their shared Gema heritage, positioning himself as a natural ally to the region.
He solidifies Mount Kenya, both Mount Kenya Mainstream and Mount Kenya East, and then he brings on board Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, the Kambani bit, and then he brings on board other Kenyans who may be dissatisfied with performance of William Ruto. They probably will form a winning coalition that will produce the next president and make William Ruto a one-term president.
With Gen Z voters increasingly disillusioned by Ruto's unfulfilled promises, the 2027 election could mark a seismic shift in Kenya's political landscape. Ruto's government faces mounting criticism for neglecting Mount Kenya's development projects, many initiated during Uhuru's tenure.
Right now, everywhere you go, people are dedicating 10 minutes every night to sing Ruto Must Go at night. And they're singing it in clubs, they're singing it even sometimes in churches. Even when you have a happy birthday, you hear people sing happy birthday to you, and then after that they say Ruto Must Go. They dedicate some time to that. So that conviction has gotten so deep into the hearts of Kenyans that it will be hard to remove that from them and change them. And Ruto knows that.
Kwa sababu tulikubaliana mambo ya bottom up. Wale wako chini tuwainue, ndio sisi wote tuishi kama ndugu, na usawa tuweke katika taifa letu la Kenya.
In a region where politics is often a game of numbers, Mount Kenya's rebellion could spell the end of Ruto's presidency. The 2027 election will not only test the president's ability to recover from this fallout, but also redefine Kenya's political landscape for generations to come.
That where people put you in their hearts, if people love you for some reason or another, you can always influence how they vote and the decisions they make. So don't wish away somebody who's been impeached. Right now, Rigiji is carrying a lot of sympathy within Mount Kenya, a lot of sympathy votes and a lot of woye and woishe. And that alone is a huge asset that he has. As to whether he's going to capitalize on it or not, it's really upon him. But he's a politician who has proven to be quite abrasive. So I think it's a high time he used that to his benefit. Yeah.
As Mount Kenya rose back into the political spotlight, the stakes have never been higher. Will Uhuru Kenyatta succeed in shaping Kenya's next chapter? Or will William Ruto defy the odds to secure a second term? One thing is certain, the battle for Mount Kenya will define the 2027 election and the future of the nation.
Sisi ndio tulipatia William kura ile mingi zaidi. Yeye amekalia State House kwa sababu ya kura zetu. Iko ukweli ama uongo? Sisi naomba wale watu marafiki ya rais, musidharau sisi watu ya Mlima Kenya. Musituoneshe matapiko, musituoneshe madharau. Sisi ndio tulimchagua William Ruto akakuwa rais wa Kenya. Ni sisi tulimchagua, sio sisi.
It's a choice he needs to make. I mean, I look at the person of Waitito who was impeached. He may not hold public office, but he commands a lot of influence. Sonko may not hold public office as a person, but he commands. In fact, you remember there's a time he tried vying in Mombasa and they had to find a way to stop him. What does that tell you?